Every time Apple comes out with a new product, they are often met with both praise and scrutiny. When the Apple Watch came out in late April, everyone waited to see if the fashion world can truly blend in with the tech. Every time a new piece of technology comes out, especially if it has to do with Apple, the news and the media and everyone on the internet loves to take it and twist it and come out with all sorts of crazy rumors about what it's going to do, what it's not going to do, what's it gonna suck at, what's it going to be great at, and it basically comes up with its own assumptions before the product even comes out. Well, there's plenty of that to go around, especially with this new Apple Watch. Having it for about 2 months now, I've gotten a pretty good idea of what it's good at and what it's not good at. So I'm here to tell you what are the top 5 myths about the Apple Watch. Starting in at number 1, is it waterproof? Yes and no. So technically it's IPX7, which if you look that up means you can submerge it up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. Now there's plenty of crazy people on the internet who love to take it and go deep sea diving with it. Let's throw it in the freezer for a day, see what happens. Well, many people out there, including myself, don't feel like ruining their $700 or even $17,000 watch. So what does that mean in real world terms? Well, if you can take a shower with it, you can go outside and get caught out in a torrential downpour and you're going to be fine. If you go to the pool and forget you have it on and jump in with a nice cannonball style, it's going to live. But I'm just not going to swim for a long time or submerge it for more than 30 minutes like Wikipedia tells me. One extra little tidbit about that though, if you have the leather bands, it's of course going to discolor and wear over time, causing it to not look so pretty, which is why I ended up sticking to one of the metal bands, but also the sport bands are waterproof as well. Moving on to number 2, here we have probably the most highly debated topic in the world of tech, battery life. No matter if you have a computer, a tablet, a phone, and now even wearables, everyone out there on the internet has their own opinion on what is considered to be a good or a bad battery. Now in the world of smartwatches, anything with a color display has a really hard time surpassing 24 hours of battery life. Now, unless you're talking about Pebble or other e-ink display smartwatches that can last a week, they have this problem because of the display. Now with the Apple Watch, honestly I'm very pleased with the battery life. I usually start my day around 8 or 9 a.m. and go to sleep around 11 or 12, and I usually end up with 30 or 40%. If I use it very lightly throughout the day, I could even get a full 2 days. But on average, I do charge it in the night because, let's be real people, it's not that difficult to set 2 magnets together right next to my phone. But if I do forget my charger or if I'm traveling out of town, I know that I can easily get a day and a half, if not 2 days out of it. But what's really cool is let's say you do use it very thoroughly throughout the day, or you did forget your charger when you went out of town. Let's say you don't care about all the fancy features like texting or calling or anything else it can do, and you just want a basic watch at that point. There's a really nice feature called Power Reserve. When you flip this guy on, it basically turns off and just restarts with a clock. And it will do this for up to 3 days. So at the very least, you still have a watch, which is what you bought in the first place, right? Coming in at number 3, we have how close does the phone have to be to the watch? So the watch connects to the phone in 2 different ways, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So with Wi-Fi, anywhere that your phone is connected to, your watch is connected to. You don't have to juggle through watch settings trying to find Wi-Fi networks to connect to. It automatically pulls that data directly from your phone. Very nice. Talking about Bluetooth 4 here, you have a theoretical range of 200 feet. To be honest, I haven't found anywhere that specifically lays out how many feet away you can be from the phone. So a couple weeks ago, I decided to do a little test for myself. I went out with some friends and played soccer. We were on a full-length field. I left my phone in my bag at one end of the goalpost, and I got about 3/4 of the field before noticing the little phone disconnected symbol on my watch face. Now what's really nice is it still tracks all my activities. So anything besides GPS location or notifications I was still able to measure how far I've ran in miles, or how many steps I've taken, my heart rate, my pace, all that good stuff for workouts. So also going to the gym, it does the same thing, where eventually if I hit the point of no return where my phone is disconnected, I can't get notifications, but I can still track all my activities. So if you're going for a run or a bike ride in the mountains, you just won't be able to check your Instagram feed, but you'll still be able to take credit for the workout and then just tweet about it later. Number 4, apps are slow. True, very true. Apps are terribly slow right now, and this is all thanks, or no thanks, to the ability that third-party apps can't be stored on the watch itself. So what that means is all Apple apps, all the native apps that came on it out of the box, are pretty dang good. So you can open up Activity or the workout app or text messages pretty quick. But all third-party apps, so loading your Instagram feed or trying to open up the Amazon app, are terribly slow. It takes 10 plus seconds, sometimes they never even load, and I usually get frustrated and just take out my phone anyway, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of the watch itself. So thankfully some developers have started optimizing their apps and they open a little better, but it's still nowhere near what the watch is supposed to be. The whole purpose of this is for me to raise my wrist, see some type of information very quickly, and then put my wrist back down. Not sit there waiting for 5 minutes trying to wait for this app to load. That's what my phone or computer is for. I'm supposed to yell at those devices for being slow, not my watch. It's meant for quick snippets of information. Now, is this a deal breaker? Should you not buy it? In my opinion, no. It's not a deal breaker, only because thankfully a couple weeks ago at WWDC, Apple announced watchOS 2. No, that is not new hardware. You will not be seeing a new version of the watch coming in the fall. What it means is that it's a software update. So coming along with iOS 9, watchOS 2 is going to add a bunch of new features to the watch. But the one that I think everybody was ecstatic for was native apps. So just like the built-in Apple apps, third-party apps will have the ability to store all of its content directly on the watch. Now hopefully that's going to mean that no more crazy waiting times for things to load. Hopefully as soon as you tap on an app, you're going to have your content in a flash. And finally we have number 5, the common misconception that there is absolutely no difference between all of the different watches. But with the range of $350 all the way up to $17,000, there has to be some type of difference, right? Well, yes and no. So if you're looking for feature differences, you won't find one. That's right, all of the same software on all of the different watches. Where the difference comes in is what they are actually made out of. There's technically 3 different categories. You have the Apple Watch Sport, the Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch Edition. Let's start with the Sport here. So it's made out of aluminum with a ION-X glass display. It comes with a sport band, which is kind of this rubbery elastomer material, and it's a pretty comfortable fit. What's funny is I've actually had a couple friends who have bought the higher end models, and actually they buy a sport band as a secondary, and they end up wearing that more than they do some of the other bands that cost 3 times as much. Moving on to the Apple Watch, you have a stainless steel exterior with a sapphire crystal display. Now that sapphire was the main reason I bought the watch. It means that you cannot scratch it except for diamond. I don't have diamond. There are technically 6 different bands that you can purchase with the Apple Watch. You have the classic buckle, the modern buckle, the leather loop, the link bracelet, and what I have is the Milanese loop. Now all of these come at different price points, ranging from $150 all the way up to $450 for that link band. Now you can actually buy the sport band as well with the stainless steel, which is the lowest price point for the Apple Watch, coming at $550 for the 38mm and $599 for the 42. Finally, you have the Apple Watch Edition, which is sporting a solid 18 karat gold exterior with, again, a sapphire crystal display. So that's right, it is not plated, it is true solid 18 karat gold, which is going to explain its $10,000 to $17,000 price range. And again, it comes with kind of the same variations of bands that the other collections have, just wherever you'd find stainless steel or aluminum, it's now 18 karat gold, making the modern buckle 38mm the most expensive at $17,000. Now it does come in two variations of gold, both yellow and rose gold. Speaking of bands, I'm going to throw in a little bonus myth here. So a lot of people ask me, can you switch out the bands? Absolutely. Technically, you can switch out all the bands with all the different watches. And with the exception of the Edition, you can actually buy all the bands separately. Even third-party developers have started making their own bands. I'll leave a link in the description to some of my favorites. I just wanted to give a quick thanks to everybody for watching. This is actually my very first tech video, and there's definitely many more to come. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw, as well as leave a comment below telling me what you liked about the video and what I could do a lot better for next time. The quality is only going to go up from here. It only took me about 2 years to actually start doing these videos because I hate being in front of a camera. Anyway, thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.